Moscow insisted Saturday its army was observing a ceasefire in Ukraine to mark Orthodox Christmas despite artillery attacks by Kyiv troops. Despite the shelling of the armed forces of Ukraine of settlements and Russian positions, the implementation of the declared ceasefire will be continued, the Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement. The statement, however, added that over the past 24 hours Russian forces repelled a number of attacks by the Ukrainian army in eastern Ukraine and killed dozens of its troops. AFP journalists in the town of Ceasefire south of the frontline city of Bakhmut on Saturday heard heavy artillery fire for much of Saturday morning. On Saturday, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces said that Russia launched one missile strike and fired 20 rounds from multiple rocket launchers over the past 24 hours. Russian President Vladimir Putin had unilaterally ordered his forces to pause attacks for 36 hours for the Orthodox Christmas. Ukraine has dismissed the halt due to last until the end of Saturday, 21 o'clock GMT, as a tactic by Russia to gain time to regroup its forces and bolster its defenses following a series of battlefield setbacks. Orthodox Christians observe Christmas on January 7th. Russians and Ukrainians are a single nation and the Church must do everything so that they do not become enemies, Patriarch Kirill of Moscow and all Russia said on Saturday. This is a single nation who came out of Kyiv's Epiphany font, but a very large people spread from the White to the Black Sea. And this enormity always caused fears and envy among others. Therefore, since ancient times, external forces have worked to divide this people, pull them away, or even pit one with another, the Patriarch said in an interview with the Russian broadcaster Rossiya 1. He added that Ukraine is trying to create a civilizational prerequisite for the separation of Russians and Ukrainians. Of course, the future depends on how successful all this activity aimed at creating a gap between two parts of the same nation will be. But the Church must do everything so that in no case do Ukrainians and Russians become enemies, the Patriarch concluded. Earlier, Patriarch Kirill called for a 36-hour ceasefire in the Ukraine conflict from January 6 to 7 for people to be able to attend church services on Orthodox Christmas, celebrated in both countries. Oleksiy Danilov, the Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, rejected the truce offer on Thursday. Washington and Berlin also rejected the offer. U.S. President Joe Biden suggested that Russian President Vladimir Putin was trying to find some oxygen, while German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock argued that a truce would bring neither freedom nor security. On February 24, Russia launched a military operation in Ukraine after the breakaway republics of Donetsk and Luhansk appealed for help in defending themselves against Ukrainian provocations. In response to Russia's operation, Western countries have rolled out a comprehensive sanctions campaign against Moscow, with Canada and the UK placing the Russian Patriarch on the sanctions list. Russia's spiritual leader has repeatedly urged high-ranking clergy as well as people of faith to pray for the restoration of peace in Ukraine and to maintain the unity of the Church.